A film as I sees it. Clearviewing at Mount Rushmore.
Everybody out there, please welcome riding big wheel number 4, the illegitimate offspring of the world's most famous bus driver, honeymooner, and social commentator, Jackie Ralph Kramden Gleason Meadows, the great one, a real black and white kind of guy.
Thanks, Ed. You ain't so legitimate or colorful yourself, you know. Okay, everybody, let me get down to the pudding of what's the matter. Would you accept an invitation to ingest a dead organism into your alimentary canal? Maybe, but doesn't dinner sound a whole lot better? And I think it's the same way with work. Work has become such a distasteful word for what we do with the majority of our waking life. Why not call it contributing? That's what Mother Nature really meant it to be, you know. How hard life is when we spend so much of it doing something we really don't like, just to make a buck so we can feed our families and maybe purchase some enjoyment and entertainment. It would be so much better if we enjoyed our contribution to the well-being of ourselves, our family, and our world. Continue to work only until you find a rewarding way to contribute, if you haven't already. That's what I say. And don't forget to enjoy yourself at your contribution place. You know, folks, the worst legacy of the Industrial Revolution has been the extreme division of labor in the world. Too many of us are left to perform one very focused, simplistic, and repetitive task along the assembly line of modern economic life. And it makes life really boring. So, too many of us try to entertain ourselves with seemingly harmless things, but nevertheless things we really shouldn't be doing. And away I go to contribute someplace else. Hold it. I forgot to say that I agree with James Dean's spiel about sports 100%. Rooting for your so-called home team that is made up of players who play for whichever team gives them the most bucks, sort of like taking a prostitute to your high school prom and pretending to yourself and everybody else like she's really your girlfriend. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, I'm back one more time to explain what I know most about, why we laugh. What is laughter's true psychological purpose? I had a real nice policeman friend who was telling me about a young boy in the neighborhood who had been decapitated in a car accident. The policeman told me that it wasn't all bad news, though, because the family could still have an open coffin at the funeral parlor. They can stick the sap's head on a mannequin and dress it in a turtleneck, he said. And the policeman broke into wild laughter. I had no idea what was so funny. But I thought about it for a while and went to the library where I found a diagram of the human triangle of emotions, like in this picture here, drawn up by Originaldo for a Dr. Daphne Riddle in Richard Krause's book, In the Winds of Time. At any rate, the triangle represents the human psyche, what is called the TOE, triangle of emotions. All events are stored in one of the 3 corners of our memory. The first corner is reserved for negative events, events to be avoided. The second corner is a neutral corner, for events which are neither desirable nor regrettable. The third corner is where desirable experiences are stored. The logic of the policeman's mind stored the decapitated motorist experience in corner A, with events we've all commonly been conditioned to avoid. However, if it were to remain there, Krause's book said, the policeman would be quite reluctant to continue his police duties. So, by making a joke out of the whole thing, the policeman's emotions moved this negative experience the corner B. That way, the event no longer needed to be avoided. His mind had been conditioned by laughter-induced endorphin secretions to consider similar experiences less than offensive. But the rest of us would never laugh at a joke about a decapitated youth, thus leaving the experience in the logically negative corner A, to be avoided, a wise decision for us vulnerable civilians.
I have a question from the Peanut Gallery. Joan Reverts asked, why then do comedians tell us jokes about bad things?
Sadly, in today's modern world, laughter has become an enjoyable end unto itself, a merchandisable commodity. So we are made to laugh at sick jokes about very sad events, thus making the so-called comedian more money while making his or her unwitting audience numb to various serious things that they might do something about if they weren't made to laugh themselves into obliviousness on that particular subject. And that's why, after I saw Originaldo's Triangle of Emotions card in Krause's book, I quit being a comedian. I leave this stage with the hope you will forgive me and learn from my mistakes. Hey, I just wanted to roll back on for a second. Say I endorse wholeheartedly the great Jackie Gleason's ideas on laughter and how modern society has perverted it into an entertaining end unto itself. Pardon my French, but laughter as an end unto itself is nothing more nor less than cerebral masturbation, an overindulgent form of self-stimulation that, in the long run, may seem harmless, but in truth will have disastrous effects on all of society, both human and non-human animals. Period.
Okay, Bagoneers, it's time for Mel and his estranged son Moses to join us, appearing here on our stage for the first time together in public.
I'd like to announce that I was born Jewish, and I still am Jewish, and I will always be Jewish.
Why do you suddenly admit your true heritage and convictions after convincing most of us for so long that you despised Jews?
It's all because of my son, Moses Gibson. That's right, world. My real name is not Mel Gibson. It's Milton Gibson. I've been against Judaism for most of my life, ever since I rebelled against my father, Rabbi David Gibson.
Why did you rebel against him?
Well, he was a descendant of the first rabbi in Australia and felt obligated for some reason to give all our family's money to the poor, rather than spend it on his kids. Anyway, to make a long story short, I repeatedly robbed the contribution box and was eventually sent to a special school to get straightened out. All my buddies in this down-under reform school thought it was real neat to wear swastika jewelry and Nazi tattoos, and it even helped get the chicks in the girls' reform school on the other side of the compound. That's right, I pretended to be anti-Semitic just because I thought it would be more popular and earn me more money amongst the majority of the population, which is Christian or Muslim or Buddhist. But when I learned of the grand thoughts lately my son Moses here has had, I knew that his path, the path of Judaism, was the right one for me too. Go ahead, son. Tell them the thought that made me see the light. I'd rather not, Dad. It's not really my own thought, maybe. It came to me in a vision.
Go ahead, son.
Okay, it's really quite simple. It might already be in the scriptures for all I know. Go ahead, son. Don't be shy. There will never be a peace amongst humans until humans first make peace with non-humans.
I want to pause here for just a moment so all of us can reflect on that profound statement.
YouTube currently limits any single video file to 15 minutes in length. As a result, for display on YouTube, this video has been divided into more than one part. Thank you.